Welcome back, fellow warriors, to the stage of history. My name is Cosmo Jazz, and this is my reaction channel. Now, we are going to be getting back into the rubber with SCP Human Poly Expunged data released. Once again, this is a goated channel. They do amazing work. I highly suggest checking out their channel and all the videos they've been doing, because they literally go really into depth and making these stories and stuff to show you what these SCPs are. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Because I'm actually interested in seeing what this is. I've never even heard at all what this could possibly be about, so I'm interested.
Viewer discretion is advised.
The lieutenant looked around her spacious room, yet she couldn't shake off her newfound sense of claustrophobia. She saw glimpses of melting faces on the wall, wailing at her. She looked at the dark corner and shuddered at the image of the abomination she encountered deep under the sea where light cannot reach. A tentacle emerging from an endless pit, dragging her down. The wall of teeth was all she could see until a brief darkness, and then another vision of hell continued to torment her. Everything was still so vivid in her mind, and in her body, something was starting to grow. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Keter class object, SCP-835. SCP-835, also known as Expunged Data Released, appears to be a large mass of coral-like polyps. The individual polyps are larger than any known coral species. The central mass is roughly oval-shaped, with a very large polyp at each end. It is incapable of locomotion, and appears to anchor itself with the large tentacles projected from its polyps, which are also used in feeding. The tentacles are extremely strong, as they have proven to be capable of damaging steel plates.
Damn.
Testing has shown that
bitch too strong.
835 appears to be made from basic human biological components, with the shell being formed from super dense calcium, the caps that cover the polyps coated with tooth enamel, and the tentacles appearing to be formed from mutated tongue cells. 835 excrete a
I'm not gonna hold you. I had a light nightmare very similar to this at one point, where it was like a toothy vagina. I'm not even kidding. It was very, very dramatic and whatnot. But we're gonna go past that. So,
large mass of semi-liquid material several times a day from its large polyps on each end. The excretion is made up of semi-digested solids and fecal material. This mass of matter contains a bacterium, 835-I5, which poses major concern for containment due to its role in the reproductive cycle of 835. Any animal or human infected with it will undergo several symptoms, most notably the formation of polyps on the skin and rapid reduction in intelligence. At the end stage, the infected subject will convert into another instance of 835.
oh shit.
There is no treatment once infection starts, and MTF Zeta Niner found that out the hard way. A 4-person team was dispatched to investigate 835.
You know they did.
C,
They even got faces.
Sergeants L and M served as support, and Corporal H, a rookie who joined as an observer. They were tethered to a ship on topside with cables so they wouldn't get lost underwater. At first, 835 didn't act in a hostile manner, allowing the team to make contact
It's like a
without
Sarlacc pit.
incident. A standard underwater remote vehicle, or URV, was sent to collect tissue samples of the object, while Lieutenant C and the sergeants proceeded towards what they believed to be the entrance. Corporal H
Why would you
remained
go
to
in
monitor
there?
the URV's progress. While the rest were approaching the opening, Lieutenant C heard the corporal's cry for help coming from the URV's direction.
Uh-oh.
They turned around and saw Corporal H's arm was entangled by a tentacle. It was dragging him towards a mouth-like opening on a polyp. Topside tried winching in Corporal H's cable to save him, but it was no match for the tentacle's sheer strength as it began to drag him towards
Well, he gone.
835's mouth. Eventually, the cable broke, but Lieutenant C managed to grab the corporal's hand. Inch by inch, she could feel that she was losing the tug of war. "Oh God, Lieutenant, it's eating me. I don't want to die. Help me, please."
I love
As the
that.
mouth opened wider, the tentacle that came from within the irregular flesh.
Don't they have any weapons or anything? Like a laser or some shit?
Causing the corporal to break down and scream in pain.
Or maybe break his arm.
C shouted at him to calm down and told him that they would get him out of there. Command on topside hastily ordered the team to abort the mission and started to winch the rest of the team back up. Lieutenant quickly reached for her carabiner and hooked herself with Corporal H. Despite Command's repeated order, she wouldn't let go. Her cable pulled at her, and then she felt a jerk as the cable broke, allowing the tentacle to drag both the corporal and the lieutenant into its mouth. Her hands
tried her best
against the hard wall of teeth and tried to grab hold of them, but to no avail. The tentacle dragged them past the teeth and let go of them as they arrived at 835's intestines. The muscles contracted around them, moving them down slowly, towards where they have no idea. They couldn't move, not even a single muscle. If it weren't for their hard suits, the compression would have crushed and flattened them into an unrecognizable mess. It was pitch black in the tube. They could only see each other's faces in the illuminated helmet and hear their own breathing over the gurgling noises.
At least I could see each other.
After 24 hours, they were finally out of 835's intestines and had reached its stomach. There, the gurgling noises were louder, with the occasional crunching sounds. They turned on their flashlights, allowing Lieutenant C to notice their suits were giving out hissing sounds, and their gloves
So yeah,
were
I would
degrading.
have
The
gotten
walls were lined with teeth and faces.
even if they could even touch anything.
Hundreds of
I would
human
be out of that
faces
acid as
were
fast
wailing
as I
and
could.
screaming at them,
Goddamn.
begging to be killed. Upon seeing such abomination, Lieutenant C briefly lost her composure and started firing at the heads. Corporal H shouted at her to calm down and shoved her into an opening nearby. Through it, they arrived at another hell. The faces on the walls now were filled with acid and various
Goddamn.
rotting human parts strewn across the floor. Come on, Lieutenant. We're almost out of here. Let's go. The corporal helped
There's
her
a way
back to
out?
her feet as she began to faint.
Fuck,
He
dude.
spotted another opening nearby, but the flesh surrounding it had puckered up tight. They tried to pry it open, but it wouldn't budge. They figured that it was probably an exit that would take them out of 835, so they decided to
How
wait.
did they figure that,
As
though?
they settled down, Lieutenant C noticed something about Corporal H had changed. There was a hole in the back of the corporal's leg, which was probably dissolved by the acid. She quickly put a patch on it and told him that it was nothing to worry about. But what she didn't tell him was that certain red polyps were growing
He's
all
already
over his
infected.
face, until one of the polyps burst and splattered blood all over his faceplate. He started screaming, begging Lieutenant C to kill him. Her shaking hand put the gun against his faceplate and pulled the trigger, but a single click was all she got.
Oh
She had used up all her
no.
ammo on 835's faces. Suddenly, a tentacle burst out of Corporal H's face. It seized Lieutenant C immediately, but she managed to wrestle it away and push the infected corporal away
I
from
wonder
her.
if this is how she got
The
infected.
tentacle wasn't as strong as the one they had encountered outside of 835. It writhed at the lieutenant as it started to melt. By then, what was once the corporal has taken on a grotesque form. The tentacle was writhing around the polyp, which had occupied a huge portion of
So,
his face.
let me take back my
Still,
statement.
he struggled
If you have
to
a face,
maintain
you're
his
fucked.
humanity, and his intelligence was declining rapidly. At last, he mustered up what's left of his sanity. He smiled and said, "I love you." Lieutenant C screamed, and then forcefully ejected out of 835 along with its digested matter. She was retrieved back to the ship, but it didn't end there. When she got back, she realized that her suit was breached.
Rip.
Nobody noticed until she was in her room and saw the polyps started to grow all over
So
her.
yeah, she's just as
She
fucked.
was infected. She locked her room, and in her report, she requested command to leave her and evacuate the ship, abandon it on top of the insertion site, so she can sink with it and be together with Corporal H. He would have liked it that way, she thought. One last act of intimacy. Why not?
Damn.
And went
That's
to sleep
fucked up.
before she would become another instance of 835, a fate worse than death.
Remember to check out my new animation channel, The Rubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions.
Just click on the link in the description to enter the
That was
Reaper's
fucked up, dude.
Before we end this
But I like
video,
that.
we are proud to present
Personally,
some incredibly sweet
if it
pieces
were
of fan
me,
art.
like,
A
I
big
get the
thank you to
sentiment,
all
but I
of
would have
you.
tried
You
to,
can
like,
now send
maybe
us your
put
fan
the
art,
ship
and we will
in
be more
there
than happy to
and
show
blow
off
up
your
the
fan
entire
art
thing
in
just
our
to see
next
what would have
video.
happened, you
Check
know?
out our description below on
Like,
how
it
to
probably would have
subscribe. I
done
hope you enjoyed today's
nothing at
video.
all,
Which
but,
SCP do you want to see in the
like,
next
at that point,
video,
I'm
and
already
why it is
dead.
interesting? Let us
So,
know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world.
yeah, that
Don't
was
forget to click like,
fucked
subscribe
up,
to the
dude.
channel and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching.
I gotta
We'll
watch
see
this
you
one
in
too, the
next
Suburban
video.
Slasher.
Bye-bye.
They have so many good videos, and I, like, that was very entertaining. But I can think the entire time, like, man, what would I do in that situation? Like, granted, yeah, they were right about getting out of the holes and stuff, but I was just like, what made you think that that was even a thing? What if you're just going deeper and deeper into it? But I guess they didn't really have much of an option, really, so. But, that was that. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section below. What would you do in that situation? Especially near the end. Would you have done what she did? Would you have maybe tried to say, hey, maybe they should take a gun and just end it then and there? Or, yeah, what would you do? And let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, ask yourself this one question. Does your soul still burn? Bye, guys. Let me know if there's one I should be going to next, because I think the next one I am going to be doing is the SCP-5733, like I was saying. But, yeah, y'all take care.
All I care about is money and